the Great Hot Air Balloon Chase. In the lively, colorful town of Rainbow Ridge, excitement buzzed in the air every autumn as the annual hot air balloon race drew closer. It was the biggest event of the year, attracting not just the townsfolk but visitors from all over the land. For one day, the skies above the town would be transformed into a dazzling parade of balloons in every color, shape, and size. Some balloons were shaped like animals, giant elephants and graceful swans, while others looked like castles, dragons, or even musical instruments. But none could compare to the balloon everyone came to see. Captain Oliver's enormous pirate ship balloon, a floating fortress that dominated the sky. It was so grand that it looked as though it had sailed right out of a pirate adventure book. Its wooden hull gleamed in the sunlight, and its massive white sails captured every breath of wind. The Jolly Roger flag, waving proudly from the top of the mast, was visible for miles around. And at the helm, with his broad grin and twinkling eyes, stood Captain Oliver, undisputed champion of the race for 3 consecutive years. Captain Oliver was beloved in Rainbow Ridge. Known for his wild stories of adventure, his booming laughter, and his signature eye patch, he was a hero to the townspeople. His victories in the balloon race only added to his legend, and each year, he promised to defend his title with even more daring maneuvers. His competitors, while respected, rarely stood a chance against the speed and grace of his pirate ship balloon. It wasn't just a race, it was a spectacle. This year, however, there was a stir in the crowd. A new name had appeared on the list of competitors, one that no one had expected: Penny Pockets. Penny was the town's quirky inventor, known more for her oddball gadgets and curious inventions than for any interest in flying. She had a reputation for creating strange, whimsical devices that seemed more like toys than practical machines. Her workshop was filled with all sorts of wonders: singing clocks, shoes that could make you bounce, and bicycles that could fold into the size of a shoebox. But flying a hot air balloon? That was a different story altogether. When race day arrived, the spectators lined the fields, eager to see what this year's contest would bring. The sky was a brilliant blue, the perfect backdrop for the colorful balloons now taking their places at the starting line. Captain Oliver's pirate ship, as always, stole the show, drawing gasps and applause as it towered over the other balloons. Then the murmurs began. Rolling onto the field, with a puff of steam and a curious creak, came Penny Pocket's balloon. It wasn't at all what anyone had expected. Rather than a sleek, elegant balloon, Penny's entry was a giant round teapot. Its soft blue surface was adorned with tiny white daisies, and steam gently puffed from its spout, as if it were ready to pour a cup of tea at any moment. Large mechanical wings were attached to its sides, giving the teapot a slightly whimsical, fluttering appearance. The crowd erupted into laughter and applause. A flying teapot? Was Penny serious? Captain Oliver, standing tall in his basket, couldn't help but grin as he walked over to Penny. "Well, well, well," he said with a chuckle. "A teapot, Penny? You really do have a way with surprises. Are you planning to serve tea to the other racers when you fall behind?" Penny, adjusting her goggles and tightening her scarf, gave him a wink. "Maybe, Captain. Or maybe I'll be serving it to you when I cross the finish line first." Captain Oliver laughed heartily. "You've got spirit, I'll give you that. But don't be too disappointed when the pirate ship sails past you. It's a fast one, you know." Penny just smiled. She had a secret no one knew about. Her balloon wasn't powered by just hot air like the others. Inside the teapot was a miniature steam engine, one she had spent months perfecting. It wasn't visible from the outside, but beneath the balloon's cheerful appearance lay a clever system of gears and pistons that gave her teapot the potential for surprising speed. The horn blew, signaling the start of the race. One by one, the balloons lifted off the ground, rising gracefully into the air. Captain Oliver's pirate ship soared majestically, its sails catching the wind, pulling it ahead of the others almost immediately. The crowd cheered as he waved to them from high above, his pirate ship leading the pack as always. But Penny's balloon was another story. The teapot balloon didn't float up smoothly like the others. Instead, it wobbled and zigzagged awkwardly in the air, its wings flapping erratically as if it were unsure whether it wanted to fly. The crowd giggled, some shaking their heads, thinking Penny was in over her head. But Penny remained focused. She flipped a few switches inside the basket, adjusting the steam flow. Slowly, the balloon stabilized, and the wings began flapping in a more controlled rhythm. With a soft whoosh, the teapot balloon surged forward, its speed increasing with each puff of steam from the spout. By the time they reached the halfway point of the race, Penny's teapot was flying faster than anyone had expected. It zipped past some of the slower competitors, its mechanical wings flapping rhythmically. Captain Oliver, who had been confidently leading the race, glanced back and did a double-take when he saw the teapot gaining on him. "Impossible," he muttered, gripping the steering wheel of his pirate ship balloon tighter. "How can a teapot be that fast?" But Penny's secret was in the steam. Unlike the other balloons, which relied solely on the wind and hot air, her teapot balloon was powered by a steady release of steam, driving it forward with surprising speed. She had built a series of levers and controls that allowed her to direct the steam flow and control the wings' movements, giving her a level of precision that no other balloon could match. As they soared over the sparkling rivers and rolling hills of Rainbow Ridge, the two leading balloons, Captain Oliver's pirate ship and Penny's teapot, were neck and neck. The race had become more intense than anyone had imagined. Spectators below shouted and cheered, pointing to the sky as the two balloons weaved through the clouds. With the finish line in sight, Captain Oliver pushed his pirate ship balloon to its limits, catching every gust of wind he could. But Penny wasn't done yet. With a determined glint in her eye, she pressed a hidden button on her control panel. A burst of steam shot from the teapot's spout, and the wings flapped with renewed vigor. The teapot balloon shot forward like a rocket, leaving the pirate ship trailing just behind. The crowd held its breath as the two balloons raced toward the finish line. In a stunning finale, Penny's teapot balloon crossed the line just seconds ahead of Captain Oliver's pirate ship. The crowd erupted into applause and cheers as Penny landed her balloon, steam still puffing from the spout. Captain Oliver landed moments later, his pirate ship balloon coming to a graceful stop. He removed his hat and approached Penny with a respectful nod. "Well, Penny," he said with a grin, "you've done it. I never thought I'd see the day when a teapot would beat the pirate ship, but you've proven me wrong." Penny smiled and held out a cup of tea, freshly brewed from the spout of her balloon. "Care for a victory cup, Captain?" Captain Oliver laughed and took the cup, raising it in a toast. "To the victor, and to the fastest teapot in the sky." From that day on, Penny Pockets became a legend in Rainbow Ridge. She wasn't just the town's quirky inventor anymore. She was the champion of the great hot air balloon race. And while Captain Oliver vowed to return next year with a new strategy, he knew deep down that he would never underestimate Penny again. And as for Penny, well, she went on to create even more fantastic flying machines, each one more whimsical and ingenious than the last. But the teapot balloon would always hold a special place in her heart, as the invention that turned the skies of Rainbow Ridge into a place where anything was possible.